Hey everybody, welcome back to Stargirl episode 7. And again, they're all titled the same thing. Now, this one shows us that Courtney, after taking on Eclipso in the last episode, is struggling to restore the cosmic staff. Although you can see some lights that are coming back in the staff showing it's healing. So the staff is slowly starting to recover, but it's just not there yet. So I think that for all intended purposes, we are going to see the staff back at full power, and so Courtney as well. Now, the young heroes are trying to deal with the realization that Eclipso may be a bigger villain than what they first realized, and one that they will have to kill to try and stop it. Now, this brings us to Yolanda. Yolanda has already been struggling with the guilt from having killed Brainwave, but Yolanda leaving the team, we kind of saw it coming from a mile away. But she sits in the church and confesses to the priest, and she tells the priest that she'd like to take this time to ask him if the devil is real. And she tells him that she thinks she might have seen him. She struggles to explain what it feels like, suggesting that if God isn't on earth to stop the devil, shouldn't they? Now she asks this question: if she kills something truly evil, can she ever be forgiven or redeemed? Now, and then she says the devil is real and he's in Blue Valley. Now, first of all, I'd like to say she's my favourite character, and I absolutely loved her acting and showed why she's such an endearing person as a character. And Yvette Monreal as Yolanda Montez is really carrying the swing for me. I've always liked her portrayal. Every type of tone and facial expression that you expect her to hit, she hits. And she hits it out the ballpark, and she does it in a way that is really endearing, and it really kind of sucks you into the character. It's hard not to like her. I think that we're deeply, deeply feeling the weight that she has to carry from her shoulders in all angles. And so we move on to kind of Mike and Pat, who are trying to rebuild Stripe. He's training. I don't think it's part of his training. You can tell kids anything they want, and it will sound like training, but really he's just looking for extra hands to try and fix broken Stripey. But when Mike is left alone, he discovers that the shards of the Black Diamond. And after messing around with them a bit, he starts to hallucinate leeches. Now, the Black Diamond, of course, was Eclipso's one weakness, and one that Pat said he hopes that could be used against him. But we haven't seen the last of that. There's a reason why they show these scenes. I mean, there's going to be a big payoff later on down the road where somebody might be able to fix the shard, i.e. Thunderbolt and Jakeem, and that might be their way of putting him down for the count in season 2. But as far as Yolanda goes, she gets a text from Henry, and then she sees him in the hall and goes outside following a trail of blood to the cafeteria. Now, he tells her that because she never forgave him, he's in a bad place now, and that his father will never forgive her. And this is where we see her head starting to hurt, and the brainwave, that little shrieking sound, well, not little, quite large shrieking sound when he's trying to take control of you telepathically, it is trying to get inside of your head. And then he shows up, telling her he's transferred his mind into hers. Now, Yolanda actually said that she's been seeing Henry and Brainwave for a while, and it's been going on before Eclipso. And that's right, might give everybody a little bit of a clue of what's actually going on, and it's great writing from the writing team on the series. Now, Yolanda opens up to the team about killing Brainwave, and they're shocked. It makes you wonder, she kept this in for such a long time. We're at episode 7 now, and she kept this in for all this time because of how much pain it was causing her. And the team are completely shocked. Of course, Rick is supportive and says he probably would have done the same thing, although Yolanda questions him about why he didn't kill Solomon Grundy. Beth, of course, she isn't any help, as, she would never take a life. I think we all know that. Yolanda realizes that the rest of the team isn't capable of killing. And again, remember I talked about that weight on her shoulders? She's kind of left with her to kill Eclipso, just her by herself. And this kind of guilt is just continuing to weaken her because it's just too much on young shoulders. And she tells Courtney that she's going to quit the JSA, and she was never supposed to be Wildcat. It's really sad at this point in time because so much darkness is surrounding the city and the town, and you're just looking for any hope and of spirit. You know, we didn't see Shade back this episode, and Cindy is still out for the count, many presume dead. And then let's talk about Sylvester Pemberton, still ain't shown up. Yeah? So a lot of stuff is going on, and the kids are having to figure this out for themselves. And the one thing that I was kind of disappointed in is you're depending on the veterans and the original members and the elders to lead these kids. And we didn't even see Pat. I think if Pat was there, or even Barbara, to lend an ear of wisdom to Yolanda, it probably would have paid off and helped her. But nobody had an answer. And this episode greatly focuses on Yolanda and her regrets with what has happened with Brainwave and Henry. Now, Yolanda is going through a lot, more now than ever. And while she's quit her job and she's quit the JSA, only time will tell whether we will see her back in the team or back on the series again. We've seen this so many times where a new member might come in and replace an old member who leaves. It happens a lot on superhero shows. But I don't get that feeling here. I think she'll stick around, and I hope she does, because as I said, she's my favourite character. But the biggest question is, has Brainwave actually implanted himself into Yolanda's mind? The easy way out is it's Eclipso. That's the easy way out, because he's controlling everybody. We know that. But there's a reason to believe that that might not be the case, and there's 3 clues here. Yolanda said, number 1, that she was having these issues before Eclipso came into town. Number 2, there was no purple colour glinting in Brainwave's right eye, indicating that Eclipso was taking control. And number 3, which isn't adjacent to the show, but in the comics, Brainwave implanted himself into Henry Jr. So those are the kind of intangibles that tells you that there might not be as easy an answer as we think it is. So let's just hold on for that and see how it progresses. But Eclipso's here now, and he is capitalizing on Yolanda's guilt. At the end, we see Bruce appear outside Beth's house, as in he's done all the work with Yolanda and he's finished with her, and now he's looking for another target in Beth, because Beth's life is just falling apart. But overall, I think in this episode, I'm going to give this episode a 7.5 out of 10. I think we really missed the Shade. We missed Cindy. We missed this. The whole Injustice Society is gone. And Stargirl Season 2 is only halfway through now. We're on the back end of the episodes, and Eclipso's strength is just likely to continue growing. Maybe into Season 3, but I'm not sure. I think they're going to somehow fix that diamond shard and then trap him in there again. And because you can never really kill an evil force like that. And that's the reason why it was trapped in the first place and hidden away in a box. And I think that's the reason why the Shade will still have exposition. So listen, that's where I'm going to leave it, guys. And let me know what you guys' thoughts are, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Peace out.